Welcome to a new episode, Fit the Description, a Black Men's Podcast, where various Black men come together to talk about life, society, entertainment, culture, news, and whatever else we want to talk about from various Black men's perspectives. I'm your host, G, and today we got James.
What's happening?
So anyways, just to get started, to let y'all know about us once again, I want to thank y'all for checking out the podcast. Make sure on your way in to make sure to like and subscribe, hit that bell so you can get new episodes. Also, make sure to check out our Clips channel. There we go. If you're looking at the screen here on YouTube, as you see, fit the description, this is our Clips channel. We got 2 clips coming out every week, so make sure to subscribe and check that out if you want to get small portions. We also have a Patreon too that we're working on. If you want to check out any of that stuff, the links are down below. Also, remember, if you're listening to this on the audio version of the podcast, you're at a delay. So if you want to get the current episodes, make sure to go to OPN on YouTube. But other than that, I want to thank y'all. Shout out to y'all. And we're just going to go ahead and get started.
So anyway, what else you got?
Well, I mean, to stay on the hip hop note, who would you say is the best rapper alive?
The Wacky D.
I don't even know who that is because you're actually wrong, because GQ says it's Future.
Really? That's what GQ says. That's not what I say. I say it's Wacky D.
Wacky D. I don't think I've ever heard of him. Or I probably did. I just got to listen to his music.
He ain't no Wacky D.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I mean, I'll just put it to you like this.
Wait a minute. You said the greatest rapper alive or the greatest rapper of all time?
The greatest rapper alive.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely Wacky D.
Yeah. I mean,
the greatest rapper alive. Who's second? Eminem?
No, I don't know. All they saw that
Hammer?
All GQ said was the greatest rapper alive right now is Future, which that it's highly debatable.
Whatever. I felt 2 Chainz was runner up. Well, if you really want to,
I mean, wasn't 2 Chainz before Future?
Okay. I mean, nothing. They're probably going to say it's, what's that dude who be banging Nicki Minaj? What's his name?
Who? Meek Mill?
Meek Mill doesn't bang Nicki Minaj. I thought she was married to one of the Migos.
No. That's Cardi B.
Oh, whatever, man. Look, bro. I don't know. They all look alike to me. Bro. Oh, man.
Oh, God.
I think it was Gucci Mane, dog. Wasn't it Gucci Mane?
No. The Gucci Mane.
Exactly. I think Gucci Mane was. He makes hits with everybody.
I mean,
I wouldn't figure it. I honestly do. Like at this point right now, I feel that the culture's like the music itself right now is not good.
I'll be honest with you, I agree.
I have this argument all the time with people, and I tell them like my nephews, like my nephew tortured me the other day, and we were on an hour drive home, and this dude played music the whole time trying to get me to find somebody I liked. And I kept explaining to him, I'm a guy who part of my job is to play music. So I have to be cool with playing this music. So I find things to relate and to be like cool with. But I'm going to tell you the truth. It's mostly just beats. Like people's instrumentals, people's beats. I'm like, oh yeah, that beat is dope. So I'll rock with it. And I kind of just tune out what they're saying. But then sometimes when you listen to what they're saying, I'm like, oh my God, is this dude literally like, I can't understand what he was going for with making these lyrics. But this is what kids are into nowadays. And this is what you're supporting. Because you say black people should be proud of this garbage.
No, I was talking about the music genre itself, not necessarily the music of today.
Yeah, the music genre right now
It's not.
is immersed in some really sad stuff. When C Mac is the dude who is putting reason into people's heads, I feel we're in trouble. That dude is a motivational speaking gang member. I don't understand. But the fact that he made a song telling everybody not to commit suicide and was really like had a lot of conviction in the song, it's crazy to me. When you have to put warnings before you play music videos about this, if you have mental health problems, please seek, like something's wrong with this music.
Wait a minute, do they do that now? I know they do on movies.
They did. There was a what was that? There was literally like a suicide song that came out a little bit, a couple of years ago.
I know Eminem had the suicide
No,
prevention
no, it was
number.
one of them new dudes. It was one of them new cats. World, Juice World. Is that dude? Might be him.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, he passed away, so
I don't know. What the fuck they got to do with me? I'm just telling you the song.
okay, fair enough.
I mean, hell, I could probably find it, but I was like, oh, I don't want to play it, but I'm just like, I remember the kids were like singing it and crap, and I'm like, that's not really a good song there. It's actually kind of sad.
I mean, okay. I mean, I can agree with you with the because yes, I let me tell you the story, man. And this story really, this is the first time I knew that we were changing. So I went out and did an interview on I want to say Santa Monica Pier. Me and B went to do it, right? And there were these kids out there, and they were like, I rap. And I'm like, okay, you rap? I'm like, man, spit something. No, he did. He's like, yeah, man, I can't rap unless I'm high. Do you understand the anger, the rage, and the disappointment I felt when I heard that answer?
So I go,
Can you fathom? Because I don't know if people understand. I don't know how it was at your time, but I don't think people understood how rough and tough it was to rap in front of people. Like at the point where it's like, call your out, you better spit something like right now. Challenge your no matter what. And if you didn't do a good job,
oh no, that was crazy. It's really a suicide song.
but but if you don't come with it and you don't come correct, man, they will tell you, and you're gonna have to live with that. Sucks. All the battle rap, all the I went through, and you're gonna tell me, and I'm not even saying I'm a rap. Well, I'm not saying I was ever a big famous rapper or whatever, but I'm saying I was in those stages. Like, you better say those battles. I was in those room spitting. And to say I cannot, like, when you better rap when I say it to, and you're gonna fucking sit there and tell me that I cannot rap without getting high. Holy.
Well, don't worry, man. It happens all the time.
The how far have we fallen to the point where a dude could come up to me and tell me I can't flow without being high? That's unacceptable when I was growing up on every level. That's just unacceptable. Like that's almost like a sin. It's almost like you don't do that. If you truly rap, if you truly loved it, and you say I'm a rapper, you should be able to spit something. Dude, I was in Vegas in a club, dude, where people couldn't hear me. And dude said, spit something. You know what the did? I spit something.
Mm-hmm.
Right in that dude's ear. He said, yeah, that's exactly. Because that's how the I grew up.
Boom.
All the battles, all the like dissing and shit and the fucking like lots of, and you're telling me, and I'm not saying, because I get it, yeah, to me reach a certain level, yeah, you shouldn't just be rapping anybody just for what, but you a little, you know, my nose about you, you cannot flow, and you say you're a rapper and you love this shit, get out of here, man. When I was a kid, hip hop was a art form.
Interesting. Seems like you have an issue with the culture.
I really don't like you.
Damn. I mean, it just seems like it. I'm just listening to you, bro. I'm agreeing with you. I'm just listening to you.
Oh my god.
Sometimes it's better to just listen instead of trying to fight it.
But I want to fight this aspect, though. I hate it now.
Fine. You are. You're also discrediting yourself.
How?
Like I said, the culture seems to be in trouble. You just said it yourself. I didn't even need to say it. I could just sit back and listen. You hear the pain, and you hear the pain in your voice, like somebody who had so much pride in this culture. Now it seems like you're so annoyed and enamored by it. Like, Jesus, it's ridiculous.
I don't have to admit it. I don't have to admit it.
Oh no, you don't have to. The viewers can just hear it. You've already admitted it, bro, for like the last 5 minutes. Huh. Go figure.
The point being that, yes, I can at least admit there are some good guys, though. There are some good guys I like listening to you.
Never said there wasn't. But if you look at the ratio of trash to decent, it depends on how you look at it. But you listen to these young kids, man, and most of them think that all of this garbage is dope. You grew up idolizing hip hop. And in a few years, you're gonna go to despise it.
I grew up doing it, man.
Like I said, you grew up idolizing it. But and give it another 5-10 years, you're gonna grow up despising it. You will live to despise it in some sort, but you're not gonna lose respect for it because of what you idolize. But you are gonna be like, man, this news is trash. It happens with everybody, though. Our parents grew up listening to their music and going, what are these idiots listening to now?
But this is the difference, though. This is the difference. They were different genres.
Exactly.
This is what people don't understand. They were different genres. Like
that just makes it worse. That just literally makes your point worse.
Like, at least back then, it's like my mom would listen to old school soul, R&B. Well, R&B I think came up when I was, but either way, soul. No, my part was called rhythm and blues. It wasn't called R&B. R&B was new to rhythm and actual rhythm and blues. Soul. I keep saying soul. I don't know why I keep saying soul. There's so much more. Blues. What else was there? I can't think. Either way, just so many old school genres that my mom used to listen to.
And it was just called music back then.
Yes. But here it's like, this is rap. Like, it's not like a brand new genre of music was born. It's like, this is rap. Like, and I get that like music has its subsects, but it just kind of sucks because it made like just been out of like hip hop for a while, but it's like all the subsets. Like, when you look at rock, like rock had distinct subsets of music. Like you knew that they were different.
But most people that listen to rock and roll listen to the older stuff, and they give respect to the older stuff, and then they
Yes.
like the newer stuff. Hip hop is one of the only genres that doesn't respect its elders.
That's true. That's why I brought up this tweet right here. That's why I brought up this tweet right here from this rapper called DDG. Never heard of him. And he put, today's rappers are 10 times better than the rappers back wait a minute, back in the today, respectfully. Oh, he said, okay, my fault. Today's
You're
rappers
supposed
are,
to say back in the day.
yeah, I read it. I see you try to correct it. And then, so here's another one. I can't. But
Exactly. You see that? You see that right there? That's called sad because these kids really can't write. They can't spell. Everything to them has to be, abbreviated. If I had my nephew come in here, he would decode that in 10 seconds. It says, yeah, diggity dog, blah, blah, blah.
Well, no, I can read, I just can't say it.
My nephew literally asked me the other day, he heard me talking to somebody, and he said, when you are in business, do you have to talk to everybody like that? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like you just talked to that person. I was like educated? I'm like, yeah, I've been to college, bro. So I talk to people educated. Oh yeah, you may see me hanging out with somebody and then we may get a little slangy, but for the most part, when I'm conducting business or something, yeah. I said, dude, just imagine when you get older and you're making money, do you think you're gonna walk into a boardroom or whatever you're gonna do, and there's $1 million deal on the table, and you're gonna be like, "Yo, for word," you know what I'm saying? Diggity dog, this is what the business is.
I concur.
You heard me. You heard me, son. Yo, this is straight up residuals. Like you know what I'm saying? They be making up words. This is residualism. She, for shizzle, man. I'll be that. Yo, that's Gucci right there. That's lit. Yo, you know what I'm saying? We need to cop this all day. But these kids are like, literally, they feel like if they start talking like they're educated, then they're talking like a white boy.
You know what? Yes. Okay. I just want to say this one thing, then we'll get on to that subject because I just want to say this. This is the one thing that he said, and then we'll move on because I did want to respond to that. I respect the older generation of hip hop, but this generation create
Creativity.
thank you, on another level. For real.
Cool.
Hip hop ain't never been the number one genre till now.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I gotta disagree with that tweet on it was the number one genre, incorrect. It was the number one genre when we were coming up. We made it, my generation made it the number one genre. You guys came after. So I want to hear that.
Well, again, bro, like you can't argue with them. They got social media, millions of people that'll agree with them just because they said it. That makes it law. I don't care to argue with those kids because, at the end of the day, who cares? Is that guy making $1 billion off hip hop? If he is, well, good for him. If he's not, well, good for him. It won't make or break me. You know why? DDG, I know nothing about you, homie. I don't know who you are, never met you, don't really care to meet you, don't really care about any of your opinions, bruh. because your life doesn't dictate anything in mine.
Fair enough. But it's a good conversation and a good debate. And all I'm saying
Is
is
it
that,
really a good debate? Because again, you just made the debate for me without me saying.
but anyways, I actually wanted to go back to respond to the last thing you said before. I just wanted to put that part in there.
Mm-hmm.
When you were talking about, because I mean, I was part of that. And yes, do I feel differently now? Yes, but back then, you're right. You're totally right. Talking like that, or talking like how we did, like, well, like I told people, how I've now that I've gotten older is where it's like all my frame of speeches have kind of like merged together, and like talking is really weird. Like, I like to call it like job white black belligerent way. It's weird. I my all my ways to talk like merged all over the place. So I don't know. It's weird. I have a weird way of talking now, in my personal opinion. But yeah, when I was younger, I mean, it wasn't until I kind of came to length. Okay, that's a lie. I wasn't allowed to be. I wasn't allowed to be around it. You know, you kind of get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was there, but I wasn't allowed to be there in a way. So I grew up that way, where like, talk respectful, don't cuss too much, hi, hey, yes, sir, da 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 da, But then, I got around my peoples, because for a period of time in my life, it's like, man, I just want to be around my own. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just really wanted to be around my people. That's why I wanted to be around me, because like I said, a lot of my friends growing up, when I was a kid, I grew up around like a bunch of like mixed race. I didn't grow up around just one race. Then I started growing around, I want to say mostly, well, most of my life was like a mix of people. And so yeah, I used to be like talking white and all that stuff, but I'm like, man, nah, I didn't want to do that, because that wasn't us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be around us a lot more, Sorry, man. I it's all going through my mind. So when I was a kid, I grew up around. I used to just hang around with nothing but females. That's a kid, and just a bunch of mixed. I mostly just hung around with females. Then I just hung around with a bunch of mixed kids. Then after that, the school turned more like into like Mexican and Hispanic school. So for like 2 years of my life, I was just around a bunch of like Hispanics and Mexicans. So that's all I knew. Then after that, when I got to middle school, I hung around with like just like a mix of people. Then when I got to about freshman year to high school, I would say, yeah, I ended up middle school going to high school. I just got around my people to start hanging out with nothing but blacks. So, I only tell you that story to say that, yeah, I used to get told that too when I was younger. When I'm like, you sound like a white person. Actually, to be honest, I'll even give you a better story where, like, when I was a kid, I remember the first time, because like one of my birthdays, we had in Long Beach, and and the kid I was hanging out with at the time, he was like, you can't talk like that, because like you talk like that around here, they're gonna be, you know, you can't be talking like that, man. You sound white, and like it's gonna take advantage of you, so you can't be talking like that. So when I started getting on my own, I totally changed the way I totally spoke and started talking like, our people, started talking black and all that. You get what I'm saying?
Sure.
And that's how I've always talked since I would say probably the end of middle school, going to high school, until I probably got out. When you're right, once I started going to jobs and dealing with like, once I started going getting jobs and starting dealing with certain people. But like I said, like now it's kind of weird, because it's like all those ways of talking I used to talk kind of like merged together into like the way I talk now. So it's really weird. So the point being, not to go back on my history, I get what you're saying about, it's wrong to sound and be educated, to talk like an educated man, and to talk, because talk educates like not talking black. Question: do you really want to go do like go into this deeply?
Bro, ain't no deep dive into this. What do you?
There is an actual deep dive. I just don't
Oh,
know.
for you there is, but it's really shallow. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, go ahead, man. What the you mean it's shallow? Let's go.
It's really shallow. It's in the kiddie pool, bro. There's no deep dive into this.
Okay, then what is it, man? Like, what
What do you
is it?
mean? What is it? I'm listening
Huh?
to you. You want to talk about? You want to do a deep dive on this? Okay, go ahead. Back in slavery days, it's like deep dive you gonna make in this, bro. It's a very simple thought. You just want to make it complicated right now. It's all good.
I mean, it comes from somewhere, so of course it's going to be more complicated than what it is.
Yes, it comes from people thinking, oh man, the way these people talk is all slang and no culture, when that's not correct.
Man, can you please break that down? Because I don't get what you mean. How that's it's
What
slang and
the
not culture. How is slang not culture?
What do you mean? How is slang not culture?
Because you just said it's just slang, not culture.
It's uncultured. Yes,
How?
is slang a proper way of talking?
No,
Well, there we have it.
but it's a way of
in a
talking.
universe, it's a way of talking, and certain people are gonna understand you and be like, "Oh, this person's cool." But when you're just talking about a basic language, people are gonna go, "Huh, that person's uncultured." It's like tipping. I had a conversation with one of my nephews the other night about tipping. We went to a restaurant, and he was like, "Well, I'm gonna give this dude $1. At least I gave him something." And he's like, "My other nephew doesn't tip at all." I'm like, "Yeah, but for someone who doesn't tip, it's viewed upon as low upbringing." He's like, "What does that mean? You mean I'm poor?" No, it just means you have the low upbringing, like a low standard of upbringing. But
I
in the
disagree
same
with that. Go ahead. I'll
in the
let you finish.
same aspect, okay, go ahead. If you disagree with that, because in the
No.
same aspect,
Go ahead.
it's looked upon, if you give somebody $1, that means that they gave you poor service.
No, like I said, because I do that, and I play like this is all I had to give, and just to help you out.
What? A
To give
dollar?
like, yeah,
So you want to go to a fancy restaurant and put a lot of money down in food, and you
dude.
don't
Do
have
you know
money?
how expensive the fancy restaurant is? I
Yeah,
ain't got money, so
I
you should
know.
be happy giving you $1 because ain't like I'm over here rich.
Me and my nephew went to eat the other night, and I can show you the receipt. It was $100, two
That is
dudes.
insane. I don't know what you guys say. What you do? Eat gold?
No, it was basic. What are you talking about? That's cheap.
$100 is not cheap. I've never spent $100 on a meal.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you then, bro. Because we live different lives. You see that when I've brought this up on other podcasts before.
I lost you for a sec. You're back though. You cut out. Back to what you were saying.
Saying like we have different lives right now. Like I can look at it like, okay, bet we live in two different places, bro. Like again, I can spend $70 to $200 on a decent meal and be good with it.
Yeah, and I can't do that. I mean, it's just like you probably said one restaurant where they'll pick up your trash off the ground. I've never been into a restaurant like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
But
like,
again,
like, like they'll do it like once or twice just to be nice, but they ain't gonna do it that way. That's crazy. That's like, to me, that's some rich people stuff.
but I go all the time. Like, dude, like I'll go to Vegas and spend $800 on a nice suite for the weekend, and another couple $100 on a nice meal.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I won't say I've ever done that, but I mean, I have people do it for me because, yeah, like I said, I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. I like, no, I never had that much money to be able to do that. I mean, to me, that's crazy. Like, I rather just find a room for a couple of hundred.
Yeah.
Make sure that it's nice and there's no like, it ain't gonna be all like a Super 8. I will never see a Super 8 again. You
Okay.
know.
But again, the way it's set up, we run in different areas, bro.
Yeah, no, I agree. And
Just like,
that's not an argument.
okay, that you say you didn't, you've never spent $100 on a meal, bro. After our last event, when we took you out to eat, you do understand that bill was over $100.
And for that, I am very grateful and thank you for that. And that is crazy. And I appreciate it a
It's
lot.
not crazy though, dude. That's what, like, again, and that's why I said we live in difference, and that's why I told you before. Like, when people get to a certain income level, you guys ain't gonna hang out no more because you would think everything is ludicrous that the other person's doing.
I
And
do.
if you were the person making the money, you would be like, you don't do this all the time. Like, this is like, if I went to a restaurant with somebody and they put $1 down as a tip, I would be like, like, is everything okay? Like, what happened, Or if the service was bad, I'd be like, okay. But if I spend $100, I'm not gonna put $1 down. If that person was really working hard, I'm gonna give them a decent tip.
Yeah. And that, yeah, like you said, that's different because I came and I can't afford to do that. I mean, I would love I watch videos like, be able to get somebody $100. Yeah, that'd be great, but I can't do that. I'm happy when I get it. I'm happy when I get at least $2. Huh? Wait a minute, say that again. Sorry, you broke up real
You
quick.
wouldn't be at those restaurants that I go to either.
I've been there.
No, you wouldn't.
I just said I paid for it.
Okay, but somebody treated you.
Yes,
Someone
yes,
treated
yes,
you to it, and
yes,
did
yeah.
they tip $1?
I didn't really look at it.
Yeah, because you wasn't worried about it.
Well, not that I wasn't worried about it. Just, I mean, I just was always thought that's kind of disrespectful. You shouldn't be looking at another man's pockets.
I mean, again, like I said, at the end of the day, going to those kind of places, you understand how much you're gonna spend, and you understand how much you're gonna tip. And if
Uh
trust me, bro, if you ran in the circle I run in, and you gave somebody a nothing tip, it it would not. It would not, like, you would be looked at funny. Like, what is this guy doing? And somebody would even put I've seen it happen before where someone doesn't leave a big enough tip and somebody else will put in money like, here.
that's
Like, that
crazy.
service was exceptional. That place that we took you to, it's not uncommon for us to leave them a $50 tip. We've
Yeah,
left those people $100 tip before. Why do
yeah,
you think when we walk in, that guy's like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like, he remembers me. They sit us at the nice place. They always wait on us. They're like quick with everything we're trying to do.
yeah. I never had it that way.
That dude wasn't even our waiter, and he came up and shook my hand. Like, how you doing? How's everything going?
Yeah,
Why? Because again, we literally go in there and take care of them every time we go in there. We've shut that restaurant down before, and it was only us in there after closing, and they still served us like no problem.
yeah. I had people do that to be nice, but it wasn't just for me. It was for like a bunch of other people. I just don't
Mm,
happen to be part of the group. But like I said, man, I wish I could do that. But like I said, I'm just not. I'm just not in a place where I can.
exactly. That's why I said we're in two different circles right now, and
Yeah.
one day you'll probably get there.
I mean, if things go right, I would like to surpass it.
I mean, exactly. I hope you do.
Yeah.
But I know how hard I've worked to get to that situation,
And I
and
respect it.
I
I
like
respect it.
those situations. I like going to a nice restaurant.
I
The
don't know.
funniest thing is
Go
when
ahead.
I first started going to nice restaurants, one of the things I heard, because I had friends that were servers, and they would be like, the people here don't want to serve us because they know that we don't tip a lot.
Yes, I've heard that. I've heard that.
But then when I sit there and tip, all of a sudden, the next time I go to that restaurant, the person wants to be the waiter. That person wants to be the waitress because they remember. And I'm like, damn, out of all these people you wait on, yeah, but I'm such an anomaly. They're like, oh yeah, trust me. Like, this is it right here.
Oh yeah, but let's be honest. A lot of people don't have the means to do it.
but they do.
I
But
mean,
again, why would you go to a nice restaurant if you don't have the means to go to a nice restaurant?
let's just be honest. I don't personally go to nice restaurants. Let's just be honest.
Exactly.
I get invited.
Yes.
That's
And
the
there's
truth.
no problem with that. But
Yes.
again, you understand that eventually, when all of your stuff succeeds and you surpass, you're not gonna live the same life of, yeah, I don't have it, so I'm gonna give you $1. I'm gonna give you $2. If
Yeah.
you do, you have it, bro, that's looked upon as like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I mean, I would love to get to that point where I could give out money. Absolutely, man. That's one of if that's one that I would love to do before I leave this earth. I mean, hopefully sooner than later. I would love to be in that position where like you know I can get to my $100 tip and it's like, it's cool. I'll make it back in like an hour. You know, like when I be hearing some of these people when they be talking like, oh man, yeah, I can make 100,000 in like in like an hour. So don't worry about it. This ain't nothing. Like I wish I could be that guy who could say that. You know, it's one of the reasons why like so like when it comes to like YouTube and stuff, because I watched that lately, I'm a big supporter of people who made it and give back to people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Those are guys who I like because like you got yours, you have no problem with giving it back after you got yours because that's how I always feel. Like I always call it like I think I told you this too. I think I said this, but one of my goals in this world, and I'm going to take it back to a race thing, but this is what it is. One of my goals in this world is I want to totally destroy the term Black excellence, redo it, rewrite it, and make sure to add as an adult to call yourself Black excellence, by the way. It's not just about you being rich and being successful, is what doors do you leave open for the next Black boy or Black girl to walk through to find success for themselves? I cannot say that you're Black excellence if people aren't able to eat or find their own way of life off of the work that you've done. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of people putting Black excellence into Black folks who are rich. Just because you're rich does not make you excellent. It just means that you're a rich dude. And I don't get me wrong. I celebrate Black success. I call it Black success. Celebrate Black success. I do. I celebrate that all the time. But I would never call you excellent. If you want to call yourself Black excellence specifically, I would never consider you Black excellence if the next Black person cannot walk through the doors that you open and find success for themselves. So, like I said, that's why I said that's one of my goals. I want to tear that word up and input that and then put that out to the world and say that is what Black excellence is. Well, aspect of it at least. But yeah, if you got more to add.
Nope. Pretty sure I made my point.
Yeah. Like I said, man, shout out to you, man. Like I said, you're doing big things, man.
And I'm not really. I'm doing okay things, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping to make them big one day.
Well, I mean, you're gonna be there.
But it's hard work and it takes time. People that can't, put in time and effort, yeah, they're not gonna get there. They're gonna try for a little bit and they'll be like, nah, man, this is no smoke.
Yeah, that's because people looking for short-term gains on long-term wins. And let's just be honest. I mean, a lot of us are taught like that. You know, a lot of like think about it, like most of us aren't taught how to build wealth or how to make money or what it takes.
Mm.
I mean, like I told you, you know, like I was always taught, go to school, graduate, get a job, and then you're good.
That's what everybody was taught, though. That's like the American way. Get a job, work there, watch, then, live off Social Security. If you choose to go a different route, though, you have to be willing to put in the work.
Okay, hold on, I gotta stop you there. You see, that's the one I see. What I'm saying is, I wasn't even talking about Social Security. I didn't know that was a thing. I was
Okay.
taught strictly go to school, go get a job, go to work hard, and you'll make it in life.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you got to do.
Even though you weren't taught about it, that's what they were telling you.
No, yeah, well, like, yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know about Social Security or anything like that. Heck, I didn't even know. I mean, like, I'll be honest. Like, even my thought about college, I didn't know you could pie your way into college when I was growing up. I was always taught the only way you could get into college is you had to pass SATs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a lot of this stuff I didn't learn until I got into junior college. You know,
Mm-hmm.
nobody taught me this stuff.
And that's the problem. We don't teach our youth those kind of things.
Yeah, you know.
Nope. But we blame everybody else. People are gonna be looking for me to see where I'm at, what I gotta do. And today I'm actually supposed to be in Arizona.
Yeah, you did say that. What happened with that?
I pushed it back a little bit because my nephew had prom yesterday, so I put all hands on deck to get little buddy's situation ready.
That's cool. And you see, and, you know, I mean, because I don't want to end the podcast like this. I mean, that goes back to you know, what they talk about, like family structure. That's one thing I noticed, you know, talking to your nephew and listening to you and how you talk, is that, I mean, it seems like, you know, your family, and it's kind of comparable to mine, it like has a really good family structure.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, I think that's important. I mean, you know, do you think we have a problem with
I mean,
my? Go ahead.
not a problem, bro. It's like it's just your parents weren't really taught like to roll a certain way, so then they turn out to not do it to their kids, and then it's just a revolving cycle. But you have to break that cycle. But the only way to break that cycle is to figure out what's the problem.
Yes, we don't
There
ask
you
why
go.
enough.
They go, it's the other people. It's not the other people. I mean, it's the other people because they have a leg up on the situation.
Yeah.
But
So
like I said, it's always going to be like that. Think about it. If you were making $1 million, would you want to tell other people how to make $1 million?
to be honest, to be 100% honest, I want to tell people. I wouldn't want to tell people how to make $100 million. I mean, $1 million till I made my $1 million first.
Okay, you made $1 billion.
Oh yeah, at that point I don't care.
You
I'll
don't
tell
care if
everybody.
you telling everybody? Yep, everybody, right?
I got mine, so at that point,
Now, that's what you think until you get to that billion. And you at that point are like, you got to work hard. Like you're going to tell them tidbits, but you're not going to tell them the whole deal. You're not going to give them a blueprint. You're going to give people that you want to be with you the blueprint. Your kids, your family. You're going to tell those people because you want them to be making their own money right alongside of you. But you're not just going to tell everybody that.
I say it depends on where I'm at in life. To be honest,
That's a damn lie. You think rich dad, poor dad tells everybody everything? He gives people guidelines, but he don't give them blueprints.
again, me personally, I can speak for me. I think I would depend on where I was at in my life, because that's
Bro,
kind of that's good.
you
Because
yes, but you ain't got there yet, so you can't do
exactly,
your shit is speculation. I can fall asleep listening to that dude talk at seminars. I can literally listen to his seminars for hours on end, understanding what he's trying to say. And I can key in that he's not giving you everything.
you know. But is anybody ever truly giving you everything?
Again, I give my nephews a blueprint. I give my kid a blueprint. I give my family a blueprint.
But that's your people, that's your family,
I just said you're
yeah,
going to give people you want to make it that blueprint.
yeah.
Other people who are like, come on, man, he gets paid for those seminars. So yes, he's gonna give you a kind of a setup like, yeah, this is what you should do. You should be investing in this. You should be doing that. But he's not gonna sit you down and be like, look, dude, this is how you do it.
Yeah. I just started in business. Well, I've been in this time-wise 5 years, but I technically only been doing this for 3 years, technically. And I've always said one of the biggest problems I ever had was, I don't have somebody there to give me all the answers. I always said that was always kind of one of my issues where, like watching tutorials and watching things online, I always tell people the problem with that is that sometimes you need specific questions answered and you don't have the people there to answer those specific questions. And one thing I came to realize, which is kind of what you brought up, was I don't think people understand how those specific questions, how important those specific questions are that could possibly change the entire makeup of how you go about things.
Mm-hmm. But again, then people ain't worried about that. They don't because they don't understand. So they're just like, no. This is how we were taught. This is how my grandpappy and his pappy and his pappy taught him. So this is what you're gonna do because this is how you make it. Because back in the day, hell yeah, you could work at an iron factory, you could be a nurse, or you could be a whatever for 40 years and then get that gold watch and then ride off into the sunset and make some decent money. But trust me, bro, it's just not gonna work.
Well, I mean, the world has totally changed. It's one of the things that me and my mom argue about the most.
It's not even that the world has changed, bro. It's the fact that they never figured so many people would be living this long.
Yeah, I heard about that.
They never in a million years. They were like, if you go back and you really do the research, people were living, they were retiring at 65 and dying at 80. 72.
Yeah. But you also got, go ahead.
Okay. Now these people retire at 67 and live to be 108. 95. That's a lot of years. That's a lot of people you're paying for. And then other people are like, well, I don't want to pay into that. Society costs more money too. So they're like, you can't even live off that. So why would I even want to pay? Why would I even want to start? I'm going to do something else. It's all just such a crazy thing, but you really have to pay attention to it. You really have to go back and start from the beginning and research it and understand it. But people don't do that.
But like you said, some people don't have the resources or means to do it anyway.
Everybody has a means to research. Anybody can go. If you don't have a computer, you can go to the library. That's just free.
Yeah, but what I'm saying too is, it's like
people don't want to do it.
No, it's not even one. It's that where do you go to? Like you said, people don't give people the blueprint, so some people don't even know where to start.
Google.
Well, even Google is like, what do I look for? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's these questions. Like, where do you start? And I'm not saying I'm there now, but that was one of the things I was there. Is like for example, like kind of like one of my mentors when I was doing like this photography stuff. You know, he was telling me, or even like when I was talking to two other guys who are working in photography, it's like they told me what it was, but it's one of those things where it's like I didn't understand it until I actually did it myself.
Mm-hmm.
So when they were telling me this stuff, it's like it was foreign to me. Like, what are you guys talking about?
Mm-hmm. And
that's what I'm saying. It's like sometimes you don't even understand what somebody's talking about until you do it, until you leave. Get a way of doing it. So like, how are people? It's kind of like what one of my friends was. What me and my friend were talking about. Something about I think it was like school or debt or something about it. And he was saying like, well, you know, you should know how to do it. It's like, dude, you can't expect somebody to know something that they never knew. People need to learn this stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, I get what you're saying because he's one of those hard workers. Like, nah, forget you just gotta do it. Like, I get it. I'm with you. You know, I have no issue with that. But to sit down and just tell people that they should just know it just because that's what it is, but they never knew what it was, you can't expect people to know what they don't know.
Yeah, well,
so if they don't even have a beginning
I don't expect where you. I don't expect people to know it, but
Mhm.
if you really want to be in that game, I would expect you to try to find the answer.
Exactly. And then, like I said, then it goes to the point of where do you look? What do you type in? Where do you find the answer? You know?
How do you start making $1 billion? Well, that's the same question you just told me. Well, where do you start? Where do you find it? Well, how do you start making the success of yourself? Oh, my bad. You were born knowing how to make a success of yourself, right? You were born knowing how to make $1 billion.
And that was the case, man. I'll be a trillionaire by now.
Exactly. But you know what? You start wherever you want to start and you move from there.
Yes.
But the biggest thing is never to give up. All you people on YouTube, listen to that. As long as you breathing, you still fighting. There's some people that talk trash like, oh man, this dude's 56 years old and finally made his first $1 million and he thinks that's a success when these other dudes did it at 20. Yes, you can talk down on somebody like that, but when you look at it, the dude still made $1 million. I don't give a damn if he's 50, 20, 40. What did Morgan Freeman start acting when he was like 40 something, 50 fucking years old?
You're right. Again, I'm not really gonna argue that. But even like, but it's still, it's like I don't want to be an old man when I'm rich because I miss all the fun times when you're young. In my personal opinion,
And you can't make fun times when you're older?
it's different.
No, it's not.
Totally is.
It's not.
Totally is.
It's not.
Totally is. I
I
truly,
mean, you
I
can
truly.
say it is in your mentality, it is, but guess what? Would you rather die a broke dude or would you
Oh,
rather die a dude with money?
oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing somebody for making the money. Of
No,
course.
no, no, no. But you're saying you would want to be. So again, there's a point where you're just gonna give up and just be broke.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
You just said you said
No,
it's so much better
no, no.
if you get the money when you're younger, it's so much better.
I said it was better. I did not say that you should die broke or you should. No, I'm
So
saying
if
that
you don't think it's good, why would you still try to?
I, I didn't. No, I didn't say it wasn't good. That's not what I said either. I just said it's just better. All I said was it's just better to
We
have when
need to
you're
put a
young.
poll up here and see, would people rather get the money when they're younger? Of course they would. But would they rather just get the money, period?
Of
It doesn't
course.
matter how old you are. Okay, so what does
Yeah.
it matter how old you are? Money doesn't have any age on it.
Yeah, but life does. People do. Living things do.
Really? Because like I've told everybody, making money doesn't buy happiness. Honestly, and that was a statement that I had to change over the years. Because when I was younger, I used to tell people, you're full of shit because money does buy happiness because me having money is way better than me being broke.
Hmm.
Like I'd rather have money and be miserable than be broke and happy. And you know what? Over the years, I've changed that statement and I've said, you know what? You guys are right. Money does not buy happiness. You guys are 100% right. And I retract my statement. But I interject another one. Money doesn't buy happiness, but money buys me time, and time makes me happy.
Oh, that's a good one. Which I like to say, which is what I go by. Money does not buy happiness, but it sure as hell does help.
Nope, it doesn't. It doesn't have anything to do with buying happiness. It buys me time.
Well, that's why I said I didn't say it buys you happiness, but it said it does help. That's all I said.
Yesterday, I told you, oh, we were supposed to be in Arizona, but my nephew had his prom. So what did I do? I got up early. I helped him detail his car, wax his car, get it all nice, clean it up.
No.
He had, fix his system up, make sure he's dressed, make sure all of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
I spent my time making sure that dude had a great time.
Yeah.
If I had $1 billion though, would I do that same thing? No, I would have went to Arizona and paid for his car to be professionally detailed. I would have spent the $1,500 to get his car done up. I would have had his car at the shop. They would have done everything they needed to do.
Yeah.
Money buys me my time for me to do whatever I want to do.
Exactly. just like I tell people, you got to pay for your freedom. Freedom's not free.
So yeah, I buy my time back when I have money. If I don't, then I'm gonna spend my time.
Yeah, I mean,
so yeah, money does buy happiness, but it buys me time, and time makes me happy.
yeah. And that goes back to why I said money cannot buy happiness, but sure does. It sure as hell does help, and I agree with that too.
So yeah, I mean, if I have but then again, if I have $1,000,000, would I have really wasted the time with him getting his car cleaned, or would I have just been like, I'm gonna get you a party bus or some shit like that? That depends on how the level of money you have now.
But also, but it depends on what you're looking for too, because the question is, are you trying to get it done to get your time back, or do you enjoy that, and would you rather, do you want to use your time to make people happy? It's like if you enjoy doing all that work to get your nephew ready for his prom, and that makes you happy, money shouldn't matter at that point, because like I just enjoy doing this shit because it just is something that I want to do. So basically that time that you got, the time that you bought back, like it doesn't matter how much money you have, you now have the time to do that because you like to do it.
So again, like I said, money doesn't buy happiness, but it buys you time.
Agree.
And then that time can make you the happiest person on earth, because you can do whatever you want with that time.
Exactly. I mean, why do you think one of the things I want to do is freaking pay somebody to freaking edit this podcast? And if we ever get the funds, I promise you I will hire an editor to edit this stupid podcast. I don't want to call it stupid because it's my podcast. This podcast is not stupid. It's one of the best podcasts out there. Mm-hmm. But I absolutely want to hire somebody to do all the editing so I have time to work on other channels and other work.
Yeah, no, I totally get you. I mean, it's just like I said, like I like reading books. I was one of the reasons I brought Rich Dad Poor Dad up. I read that book when I was like mad young, and it got me to understand. That's honestly one of the things that really got me to understand what was going on. Because if you've never read that book, it makes complete sense.
For sure. I mean, I heard some sayings from that guy.
Yeah, because he's everywhere now. He does a bunch of, but Rich Dad Poor Dad was a book that he wrote that was just amazing book. Yeah. And it was a story about him. And people go,
you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, well, you were saying people go what?
No, I was just saying people were saying, oh man, Rich Dad Poor Dad. So he had a poor dad and he had a rich dad? No, he didn't. His actual dad was like a professor who believed, like we're talking, you work hard, you go to school, you get a job, blah, 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 blah. He didn't really want to do that. But his friend's dad was a businessman that made money. So that's who he considered his rich dad. So he took teachings from his poor dad and he took teachings from his rich dad. That makes sense. But again, he calls that guy his dad. This was my rich dad. Like, you have to have somebody that gives you the blueprint, and you have to pay attention and want to learn it.
Yeah.
We don't do that. Yeah, we don't do that. You can't go to the person down the street who's a businessman who doesn't sell crack. You know, he's not a dope dealer, but he's a businessman, and sit down and he's going to give you the tutelage. No, you have to have some vesting to him for him to want to do that for you. One of the things that really changed my life was the fact that I was a freaking idiot back in school, and I got put into a retail marketing program in high school. And then everybody found out I had a knack to sell. And then they still were just like, well, he's still going to be a knucklehead. Then they found out I was actually smart.
Yeah. I mean,
go
ahead, my fault.
But they had to wade through a bunch of BS that I was doing to figure all that out.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people don't take the time to do that. I mean, I have the similar story, but again, I didn't really get that until I probably got to college. Honestly, I didn't finish high school. I graduated from adult school. Yeah, I got my high school
It's
diploma.
crazy, right?
Yeah, but I always said like when I mean, just like you always say, one of the first. I mean, well, okay, so there's two things. Did you lose me?
Nope.
Okay, cool. So there's two things with me, and there's two things I would say about my life. So, well, there's three things I would say that kind of well, four now. So the first thing with me was, if we talk about like when I first started like knowing some things were different, was when I took it upon myself and did the theater project when like nobody else wanted to. And I was like, it was only me and three other people that raised their hands to do it. At the end of the day, I decided to do it. And I said I learned so much more by doing that than I ever did in a classroom, because it forced me to like really see how things work. I got around people. I learned how shit worked. I learned that how much, what's the word? How unorganized people can be.
Mm-hmm.
How much chaos it is to get things going. How things could go wrong. How like this, but I learned so much by doing that. The classroom couldn't tell me nothing until me getting out there. And that's one of the first things that like that's one of the big lessons. The next one that let me know like being rich isn't impossible. I keep trying to tell people that it's working at Tesla. And I call that like my actual first real job. Why? It put me around people that's used to having money. So when I'm used to like getting by day to day and working these dead end jobs, like I was always taught that's good enough. I got around people who had careers. I learned what a career was. I learned what it was. Like to see people take out a wad of cash like it's normal blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay, no. I would say the last thing I would say that really helped me out too. And the funny thing is, I feel like I was always on this path. I just didn't realize it because some of this stuff came into my life before I was ready to really receive it. I like to say. 2016, when I first started getting on the car scene, and I took a chance. And something that Keith always told me, like I'll give Keith this. He always said, "Bro, you don't take enough chances. You need to start taking chances." Because I was so worried about being broke that I'm like, man, I can't take a chance because I'm broke. Like this is all I have.
Yeah.
So, and Keith was always say, like, man, this one advice he always gave me when we were younger: you're too afraid. You need to take chances. You need to take more chances. You don't take enough chances. But the last thing I would say that really kind of started open my eyes to things is actually it literally was the pandemic. 2020, sitting on the couch, have my shirt off and not being able to do anything, and everything was just taken out of my hand. Everything. Trying to quickly try to apply for as many jobs as I could, losing everything, and just being here like there like don't get me wrong. I've been in a situation where I've been broke, whatever, but I've always, I could always do something. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But this was the first time in my life where it's like there's nothing I can do. Everything was taken out of my hands. Like nothing. Like there's nothing I can do. I can't get up again because nobody's hiring. Everything's closed now. I can't get no clients. I have nothing. Nothing. And I'm just sitting here like, what do I do? And I've never been in that situation where it's like there's always saying, there's always something you can do. This is the first time where it's like, there's nothing I can do. And I don't think people understand for me how that uselessness made me feel. And I'm like, I never want to feel that way again. That's why I do all this shit now, because I don't think people will ever understand that feeling. Maybe there are people that do, but that feeling of just uselessness, of seeing everything go down around you, knowing that you can't do nothing for yourself or for the people around you. Seeing everything, everybody just crash around you, having no way out. Getting to a point where it's like, hell, I may be in debt for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I could do. Like back then, like I found ways. This time there was nothing. It was over. And that by far to me, out of all the feelings I've ever felt, that to me by far was the worst feeling in the world. I'll never forget just sitting there watching TV with my shirt off and just like, I mean, I wouldn't say I was broke, but damn near close.
Yeah.
You know, before I could get by, I can't even get by no more. That was it. I want to say it felt like I was gonna die, but just that feeling of uselessness. Of like, there's nothing I can do. And I'll never forget that feeling, just like, and just saying, I never want to be in that position again, ever. I never want to be in that position again where it's just like, I can't do nothing about it. Like, it's over. Like, it's over. Like, there is no, oh man, can you do this? No, there is no, nobody can do anything. And like I said, just seeing everything just start falling apart just around you. And I'm not even talking about, well, I'm just talking about just in your personal life, just things keep going down. And it's like, you can't do nothing to make it better. And you can't even climb out. Like, they're like, this is where you're at. I mean, just losing everything just being lost around you, having to lose everything that you built just going away. Like, it's gone. Like, I worked hard to get here, even though I wasn't there, but I was just getting it and it's gone. And I'm just going back all the way to square one. Although I was never truly at square one, but it was just like, it's over. I don't think I would ever forget that feeling for the rest of for as long as I live. I don't think I ever want to. You know, I don't think I ever want to.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's a teaching moment.
it's a realization. It's a like there's only been 2 times where I had epiphanies in my life. It was this time, and it was the time where I finally was told about what gang life was. Like, not going through it, but actually having somebody sit down and tell me what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only 2 times I've ever had, like, I like to call it an epiphany in my life. But I would say, like, that moment right there opened my eyes to be like, I never want to do that again. So that's why right now, don't get me wrong, there's not much I can do, but damn it, I'm always doing something. That's for damn sure. I'm never not doing nothing ever again. Ever.
Yeah.
I gotta do something. I can't imagine my life anymore without like just at least doing something. I don't care if it makes me no money. As long as it feels like it's pushing me forward, that's all I need for now. Like I said, I'm just at the point of like, I just can't stop. Because that feeling right there, I never want to go through that again. So, and like, yeah, that's why I grind now. That's why I said, man. I mean, sorry to go into my own personal mind,
It's cool.
but you know, beyond that, man, beyond that, this is why, like I said, man. I mean, again, man, I hope I'm there one day, and I believe I can make it, but I know it's going to take time. I mean, I hope it happens sooner than later. You know.
Yep. Like I said, you'll definitely make it as long as you keep working.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, man, for me, like I said, the work ethic isn't a problem. You know, that's not the problem. Like I've always told people, you know, people always ask me, you know, when people ask me what was the biggest issue kind of with your life, and I always tell people it was simply just direction. You know, that's really what it is. I had no place to apply myself to. I had no direction on where to go, how to go about it, and that's really the main issue. And I think that's the problem with a lot of things. It's just people not having direction. You know, like I tell everybody all the time, like where I'm from, there's so much talent here. I think I said it before. I think I've said it on the podcast before. There's so much talent where I live. The problem is people aren't willing to take the time to shift through all the bullshit to find it.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell everybody, man, if you need somebody who could do something, or you want to bring somebody up, well, this city has it. I promise you that. The problem is there's a lot of bullshit on top of it. You got to be willing to shift through. You got to be willing to take the time to find it. And not too many people are. And I'm not saying that they should. but they're here for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I get like you said, man. Like, I mean, right now, I guess I'm just hungry because, I mean, yeah, man, I'm about it, man. I'm never gonna feel like useless again. F that.
Sure.
I can't do that 2020 shit. So, anyways, I want to thank y'all for checking out this podcast. Shout out to James for being on this one.
Yep.
Sadly, we missed Keith, but it's cool. You know, he'll probably be on the next one. We'll see what happens. But anyways, once again, man, make sure on your way out, like, subscribe, follow, let your peoples know about it. Make sure to share it because we can't grow without y'all help. And one of the best things you can do to support the podcast is definitely share it. Once again, also check out the Clips channel. Also, beyond that, thank y'all for checking us out. We definitely appreciate it. And we will be back next week with a brand new podcast. All right, y'all. Have a good one.